What happened when a talk show host pushed Melania Trump too far? The answer shocked the world. The camera panned across a buzzing live audience in Los Angeles. The set was brightly lit with the unmistakable energy of a popular primetime talk show. Viewers at home were expecting the usual blend of humor and biting political commentary. The host, Alex Brooks, a well-known liberal figure with a reputation for grilling his guests, was seated confidently. His polished grin was framed by the studio lights. Tonight's show was supposed to be like any other, until it wasn't. And now, Alex began, his tone carrying a hint of mischief. We have a very special guest, someone you'd never guess would set foot on this stage. The crowd murmured, curiosity rippling through the room. Then, as if orchestrated for maximum impact, Melania Trump emerged from backstage. Dressed in a sleek ivory suit, her posture exuded elegance and strength. The audience gasped, caught off guard by the unannounced appearance. Some clapped hesitantly while others exchanged puzzled glances. Alex himself seemed momentarily thrown off, though he quickly masked it with his signature smirk. Melania approached the host's chair with calm confidence. "Thank you for having me," she said, her accent soft but deliberate. The audience's reaction was a mix of intrigue and skepticism, setting the tone for what would become an unforgettable night. The stage was set, but no one, not even Alex, could predict what was about to unfold. The interview began predictably enough, with Alex maintaining his usual charm. He leaned back in his chair, crossing one leg over the other, and offered Melania a polite smile. "So, Melania, it's been quite a journey for you since your time in the White House. What's life like now?" Melania met his gaze without hesitation. "Life is peaceful," she replied, her voice steady. "I focus on my family, my projects, and helping children through my initiatives." Alex nodded, but his eyes glimmered with a trace of mischief. He wasn't here to offer an easy conversation, and everyone in the audience knew it. Still, Melania's calm demeanor seemed to disarm him, at least for a moment. The crowd listened intently as she spoke about her post-White House work. From supporting underprivileged children to advocating for mental health awareness. "Interesting," Alex said after a pause. "But let's be honest. Many people have criticized you for remaining silent on controversial topics during your time as First Lady. How do you respond to that?" The room seemed to hold its breath, anticipating how she would handle the pointed question. Melania, however, remained composed, her hands resting gently on her lap. "I believe actions speak louder than words," she said simply. "It's easy to talk, but harder to make a real difference. I focus on what I can do, not on what others expect me to say." There was a subtle shift in the atmosphere. Alex leaned forward slightly, his expression sharpening. It was clear he intended to push harder. But the tension thickened when Alex brought up the topic no one expected her to address. Alex's smirk widened as he tapped his pen against the armrest. Actions speak louder than words. Interesting philosophy, but don't you think some moments demand words? Especially when the stakes are so high? His tone had shifted, carrying a subtle edge, as though he was testing the waters before diving deeper. Melania tilted her head slightly, her expression unreadable. "I believe people have their roles," she said. "My role was to support my husband and our country in my own way." Alex raised an eyebrow. And supporting him meant staying silent, even when his actions or words created division? A few gasps rippled through the audience. The question wasn't just bold, it was incendiary. Alex leaned back, folding his arms, clearly waiting for a defensive response. The room buzzed with anticipation, the tension almost palpable. But Melania didn't flinch. Instead, she let the silence linger for a moment, her gaze unwavering. "Division has always existed," she said finally, her voice as calm as ever. "Blaming one person for it is easy, but it doesn't solve the problem. I choose to focus on unity, not blame." The audience murmured in response. Alex seemed momentarily taken aback, but he quickly regrouped. "Fair point," he conceded. "But speaking of unity, there are rumors, controversies, things people want to hear from you directly. For example, your marriage." The room erupted in a collective gasp. The air felt heavy as the line of questioning veered into deeply personal territory. Melania's expression didn't change. But there was a flicker in her eyes, a spark that suggested she was ready for this. But what came next turned the conversation into something no one could have anticipated.